Good morning, it's Christine Crutcher from Create with Christine. I am here with some Sunday live stamping with you this morning. Sorry I'm running a few minutes behind, but I have two cute quick projects to share today. And I am featuring the Gather Together bundle and the Plaid Tidings Designer Series paper. So here's card number 1 and here's card number 2. And I want to show you a template for a one sheet wonder using 6x6 Designer Series paper. So if you remember, Gather Together was in our holiday mini catalog last year, and it came back as a returning favorite, and I've been using it a lot. I just want to try to see if I can find myself in my feed. I guess I'll wait till I put my camera down. So the Plaid Tidings is a whole entire suite. It's on 56 to 57 in the holiday catalog, but I'm just using the paper today. So you get 48 sheets and there are 4 designs, double-sided. So there's tons of possibilities with this paper. It goes fall to the new year. You can use it on any occasion. And one thing I found that is I'm pairing it with Bumblebee. And if you look in the catalog, it has a ton of colors, and Bumblebee is one of the ones that's listed. And then if you look at the package, I have the package 6x6, and it's not on the package. So some of our colors might not be on the packaging, but I sometimes just take the color and look at it right with the Designer Series paper to see if I have a match. So like I said, this can be fall, Halloween, Christmas, and then Valentine is like black and white. So there's so many possibilities with this pack of paper, and it's only $11.50 for 48 sheets. So it's an awesome bargain. Okay, let's get started. I'm gonna point the camera down at my station. I've kind of created a big giant mess today getting ready for this project. But here are the 2 cards, and like I said, I'm using Gather Together for my stamp set. I wanna just find myself in my feed and make sure I am in the camera. So pretty much my cards have the same paper, the same design, and one is just a little bit more stepped up than the other. So let's go ahead and do card number 1. I'm gonna call this card number 1. It's got a little bit more Whisper White in it. So to start, let's stamp our sentiment. Oh, actually to start, let me show you the one sheet wonder. So I'm showing you 2 cards because the measurements on this one are actually the same. So you get 2 pieces that end up being 3 by 3 5/8. You get 1 piece that's 2 3/8 by 5 1/8. And you get this little scrap, which I ended up punching out 2 leaves with the Autumn Punch Pack. So let me just show you really quick. I first cut at 2 3/8 on my 6x6, and then I cut the 2 3x3s. And then here's the little piece that I had left over as a scrap that I punched with my leaves. So I'm not going to use this one, but I'm going to use these 3 on 2 cards. So if you're a demonstrator watching, this would actually be a great template for making classes too, because you would get 2 pieces from one 6x6. And I have some stamping friends that are telling me that 12 by 12 paper overwhelms them, so they like to cut their paper down to 6x6 because they find it easier to manage that way. Okay, so I need a 3 by 3 5/8. And let's stamp my sentiment. So I just have a 3 by 3 Bumblebee that I cut out with the maple leaf from the Gather Together bundle. And I am going to stamp with Cajun Craze. I seem to be going back to Cajun Craze almost every single project I'm making right now because it seems to just be in the papers. It's in the Halloween paper, Magic in This Night, and it's also in this paper. So I'm just doing Season of Thanks. And don't get scared, but I want to put some texture onto this. So I am just going to crumple it up with my hands. So crumpling is probably one of the easiest things you can do. So I kind of am calling this the easy card. So that looks great. So now I'm ready to layer up. I have a Whisper White 3x3 that I cut out with the largest stitch squares and from the stitch shapes. I seem to be using that again on every card lately, so we're just gonna add that down with some liquid glue. So it gives some nice texture crumpling, and it's just so simple and easy to do. So, and then I'm ready to layer up my other pieces. So I have a Bumblebee that is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, and you can see I cut out my leaf from the middle. So I try to do that when I can for my classes and my projects to save on cardstock. It's a great tip, and nobody's gonna know. Well, now all of you know my little secret. So we're just gonna layer that up, and then I can put on the designer series paper. I'm just gonna use liquid glue since I just have it handy. I've been using Stampin' Seal a lot on my designer series paper and my white and my vanilla pieces. And then I'm ready to add the ribbon. So I have, this is Bumblebee, an in color ribbon, and I did a 5-inch piece because I'm just gonna put glue dots on either side and put it to the back. You might want to go a little bit longer if you just do seal. A lot of people just do seal around the edges, Stampin' Seal, and then add their ribbon to the seal. I'm like still using glue dots for my ribbon. So thanks for joining me if you're watching the replay. Sunday morning seems to be working out because on Tuesdays I post a Casing Tuesday project, and I actually post it before I start work. So I would have to be live at about 7 a.m. and I don't think you want me live at 7 a.m. I'm going to put Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of this, and I don't know if I have some on my table. Oh, yes, I do. So put 6. And I'm also using the In Color enamel dots and the Autumn Punch Pack. So the Autumn Punch Pack's got 3 shapes in the pack. A maple leaf, I'm drawing the blank on what it's called, another leaf shape, and then an acorn. So the maple is almost exactly this maple leaf, so it works out great. And I, of course, have a pretty peacock card base that I'm going to throw this on to. Almost done with card number 1. I almost thought I was upside down for a minute. I just loved the paper and the colors in the paper of this particular plaid one. Okay, so I have, these are my enamel dots, the in color ones. So I'm gonna grab 2 in Bumblebee and put them up in the corner up here. I'm just using my paper snips because I have them handy. You could use your take your pick tool. Whoops. And these guys are really sticky, so you don't do what I just did. You want to get them down the first try if you can. Okay, so then you saw that I had this little scrap piece left over from my One Sheet Wonder, and this is perfect to punch out 2 of the maple leaves from the Autumn Punch Pack. So I'm just gonna do 2, and I'll use 1 on this card and 1 on my other card. So make sure I'm in the template, so see how it's like almost perfect. So that's how I ended up choosing how to cut my paper for the second card that I'm going to show you. So I'm going to put these on with a glue dot. I learned my lesson. I just mailed a swap on Friday, and I'm going to show you some of the swaps that I've received back at the end here. I'm in a fall swap with our team right now, and I kind of put this down here. Okay, so that's card number 1. So let's move on to card number 2. So this one I'm calling a little bit more stepped up, even though I did use a little bit less items. I added some more frou-frou to it. So again, I'm going to do the same technique of stamping and crumpling, but then I'm going to sponge on top. So we're going to stamp our Season of Thanks. A couple weeks ago, I was doing a live and I said I should do 2 cards every time, kind of a more simple and a more stepped up. And then I was like, that's might be a little bit overzealous to be doing. Actually, I don't want to put that away. So again, I did Cajun Craze on Bumblebee, and I'm just going to crumple. But then I'm going to bring over some scrap paper, and I'm going to sponge. So you can kind of see, here's card number 2. You just get I added some light sponging around the edges, so it really makes it look a little bit nicer. Not that it's not great, just crumpled, but it just gives it some more texture. So it depends the look that you're going for. Ha ha ha. Okay, so I'm using Cajun Craze again, and I'm just gonna do some light sponging on my Bumblebee around the edges. You could go light to dark as you want. Whatever makes you happy. Can't wait. A couple more weeks, the leaves will be starting to change. We're already last weekend, it was chilly, but this week it's been hotter. So, but we're getting that kind of cool night, kind of fall feel. So you can see the difference between card number 1 and now card number 2. So I think I like the sponging better. Love to hear what you think, sponging or no sponging. It's pretty simple to do. It only takes a minute. My husband always says that it makes a certain noise when you kind of flick and sponge, and it drives him crazy. He's like, what are you doing? I'm sponging a card. So the measurements are similar for card number 2. I eliminated the Whisper White layer, and I have a Bumblebee that's 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. I have my Designer Series paper for my One Sheet Wonder. It's 2 3/8 by 5 1/8. And I cut out a Bumblebee 3 by 3 with the leaf. And then I also cut out a Stitch Shape, same one, the largest square from the Stitch Shapes dies. And that's a 3 by 3 Whisper White. And then I have 2 pieces of ribbon. So let's start layering up. I guess I could do this first and get this guy on here. Yeah, see, this just really pops and makes me think of going for a walk in the woods and seeing the leaves on the ground or on the trees. We've been really trying to get out and walk. There's so many trails that we've never known that are, within like a half an hour of our house, 20 minutes, some 15 minutes. So we've really been taking advantage of being home, working from home more, and going out in the evenings while we still have the daylight in the evening to get some exercise. I don't know about you, but I definitely did the COVID-19 gaining the 19 pounds. Well, not 19 pounds, but maybe 10. So I have 2 pieces of ribbon. I'm not sure if I mentioned. One is 6.5. This is the 6.5 shorter to go around my card. And then I'm going to do a 10-inch piece of ribbon for the bow. So I'm just going to glue this to the back. These cards just make me happy. Ready for fall. But in a slow transition. Oh, and you know what? I totally screwed this up because this was supposed to go at an angle. So I was looking at my project and not even realizing what I was doing. So in my original, I put this on as at an angle. You could still do it like this. I guess I'm just going to do it like this because it's already glued down. I could try to rip it up, but that might not be a good idea. So I'll just do it on the square. This is what happens when you're live and you start talking and you distract yourself. And then I'm going to do a bow with a 10-inch piece of ribbon. So this card's got the sponging and the bow to kind of make it a little bit more stepped up. So that still looks nice. And then because I only have my glue at the sides, I can come add a nice bow here. So bear with me while I get this on here. I'm going to tie a knot first. Then I'm going to do the 2 loops and then put my loops together. That's how I did my original, and it took some fussing to get it the way I wanted it to go, but I think it turned out okay. So see, that's not bad at all. And then you can kind of futz with it, and my tip is hold in the middle and pull the ends, and then you can cut it and make it look pretty. And then again, I have a pretty Peacock card base. Whoops, this one was scored a little bit crooked. Let's see if I can fix this really quick. It's not too bad. So I'm going to futz with that bow and fix it. But I don't want to be here all day, and I want to show you a couple more things. So here is card number 2, and here was card number 1, and I'll post the measurements and the details of this video, but I would love to know what you think, bow and sponging or no sponging. I think the sponging really makes it pop. Okay, so like I said, I am in actually let me do a couple other things first. I have a host code going until August 30th, and I'll post it below, but it's YTCWEKH4. And if you spend over $25 in my online store by August 30th, you will get 3 make and takes featuring the Gilded Autumn Designer Series paper. So next weekend is a tax-free weekend, so that will be running during that special time as well. I have a class, and if you caught the very beginning of the video, it was over my shoulder, but let me grab it really quick so you can kind of see it a little bit closer up. So I'm doing a fall sampler class. I have a bow with a little acorn up in the corner, and then this is the pieces of the sampler. So this uses the Gilded Autumn Suite, the Gather Together bundle that I was just showing today. And I'm also used the banner year for the kind of the happy little fall y'all and the little squirrel. So deadline to RSVP is this Wednesday, August 26th, and you can find all the details on my blog or my website. So the blog is christinestamps.blogspot.com. So again, deadline is this Wednesday, August 26th. So hopefully you kind of caught that. I created it last weekend, and it was really dark and gloomy last weekend here. So the pictures just did not do it justice. And it uses the brushed metallic cardstock. So of course, when I was photographing, that cardstock with the metallics is really hard to photograph. So speaking of metallics, I want to show you some of my swaps. I'm in a fall swap with our team right now, Stampers with Heart. So, oh, I also wanted to mention bonus days. Bonus days is ending August 31st. So if you earned a bonus days coupon or a couple coupons in July with an order, you have until August 31st to redeem those. So don't forget about that, and don't let free, it was a $5 coupon. If you spent $50 in July, you would have earned a $5 coupon, and you would have gotten an email from Stampin' Up! With the code to redeem that $5 coupon. So plug for that. Don't let that go away. But anyways, I wanted to show some of my swaps. So this was from our team leader, Celine, with the little acorn on it and everything. So cute. This is from Diane. So more of like a Halloween theme. But so many of these swaps, this is the plaid paper that I used today in my project. So this one was like super embellished, and she's amazing and super talented. This one is from James. So pretty. Again, this is the Gilded paper that I used in my sampler, and I used in a card class this month. And I believe that he embossed the hello and he obviously embossed with the woodland embossing paper, embossing folder. I've kept them all in the envelopes so I could give a shout out to everybody. This is from Denise. Super pretty. Again, it's the plaid paper. So you can see this one, I believe it's Rich Raspberry, how pretty it is with the orange and the purple with the pumpkins. And I love this. So I need to ask her how she did that. I don't know if she just tied the threads in a knot and glue dotted it or glued it down. And she kind of did her pumpkin super cute shading. So I'm just loving these. I got to put them up on a board. This is from Karen. Again, same gathered together. I'm not sure. This might be the glitter paper. I got to ask her about this one too. Super cute. This one is from Sue. It's kind of a fun fold. So this opens. So the front, this is kind of neat. This kind of comes off the sides a little bit. So this might be a future live with these shapes in a different design, because it's kind of like a fun fold. I kind of like it. It's super different. Lots of texture. She's super, super talented. This one is from Song Suk. I love it. It's, again, I believe this is the plaid paper. Some of them put information in them, but not all of them. But I think this is the same Plaid Tidings paper. Then she embossed in the black with the white embossing powder. And I think she also embossed in black the pumpkin in the background. And amazing. Usually my swaps, I'm sending them the last day, and they're super simple because that's just my style. This one is from Sharon. So again, the Gathered Together bundle, paired it up with the Gilded Autumn. So super cute. All these emboss as you cut them out, these 3 leaves. So I've really used them a lot in my sampler that I showed earlier. So, wow, Monica, you're really putting lots of comments in there. Thanks for tuning in live. So I think that's it for this week. I hope you have a great week, and I will be back next Sunday with another project to share. Have a great one.